You're losing money daily, every morning, without realizing it. Most people start their day doing something tragic. They prepare to stay exactly where they are. The alarm goes off, the mind kicks in, and the first thoughts are worry, limitation, and routine. Not creation, not expansion, just survival. And here's the truth. You must confront, you don't get rich by reacting, you get rich by designing. You've been trained not by choice, but by repetition to see money as something scarce, something hard, something you have to chase. And when you operate from that place, your actions betray your desire. You say you want abundance, but your behavior whispers, I don't believe it's possible. Let me ask you, what's the first thing you think about when you see a price tag? Do you see possibility or problem? Do you expand your thinking or shrink your dreams? Because that reaction, that unconscious reflex, is your paradigm speaking. It's your mental autopilot, programmed since childhood, telling you how much you deserve, how much is too much, and what kind of life you're allowed to imagine. And most people, they never question that voice. They don't know that every time they settle, every time they shrink, they're reinforcing a signal that pushes money away. Because wealth is not just about working hard, it's about becoming a person that money wants to stay with. You attract money not by obsessing over it, but by aligning with it. You attract it when your thoughts, habits, and expectations say, I'm ready, I'm capable, I'm a good place for money to grow. But if your daily routine screams fear, indecision, and low self-worth, don't be surprised when money avoids you. It listens to your energy, not just your effort. Most people want to get rich without becoming rich in mindset. That's why nothing changes. You might think you're in charge of your financial life, but you're not. Your paradigm is. That inner program, built from years of repetition, emotion, and influence, is what runs your decisions, your reactions, and most dangerously, your expectations. It's not personal. It's mechanical. And unless you rewrite it, you're trapped. Let me be clear. A paradigm isn't just a belief. It's a system of beliefs that shapes your behavior automatically. You don't have to think about it, that's the problem. You act it out every day without realizing you earn what you expect to earn. You save what you feel worthy of saving. You invest according to your internal ceiling, not the external opportunity. Most people are broke not because they don't have potential, but because they never reprogrammed the part of themselves that controls potential. They try to change results without changing the source. They take more courses, get new jobs, hustle harder, but the inner thermostat is still set to just enough to get by. And when you operate from that setting, any extra money that comes in will find a way to leave. You'll attract a car problem, a medical bill, a bad decision, something to bring you back to your comfort zone. It's not sabotage, it's homeostasis. The paradigm wants to protect what's familiar, even if it's painful. That's why so many people stay stuck, even while doing all the right things. Because underneath the effort, there's still a belief that says, I'm not that kind of person. I wasn't born into wealth. People like me don't live that way. And as long as that belief is running, the outcome is locked. It's like trying to download wealth into a mind coded for lack it just won't install. But here's the good news. Paradigms are powerful, yes, but they are not permanent. They can be changed, rewritten, upgraded, but not by wishful thinking, by conscious repetition and emotional intensity. The most dangerous habit you have is the one you barely notice, the habit of tolerating. Not failure, not laziness, but quiet daily toleration of mediocrity. That subtle inner voice that says, it's fine when it's not. That shrug when you know you should have demanded more from your job, your time, your standards, your life. You see, every time you tolerate less than what you truly want, you send a message to your subconscious. This is what I deserve. And the subconscious obeys. It always does. It doesn't argue. It doesn't negotiate. It simply locks in the level you're willing to live at and works to keep you there. Most people don't realize that they're not being held back by massive failures. They're being held back by the tiny compromises they repeat every day, saying yes when you mean no, spending hours on distractions instead of growth, surrounding yourself with people who normalize struggle, accepting jobs that drain you because it's secure, telling yourself, next month I'll change, while staying exactly the same. These are not small choices. These are decisions that shape your destiny. Every tolerated limitation becomes a brick in the wall between you and abundance. And that wall is built silently. No alarms, no warnings, just years of, I guess this is enough, until you forget what you truly wanted. You want to know what wealthy people don't tolerate? Wasted potential, scarcity talk, victim language, low standards. They walk away from people, environments, and habits that contradict who they've decided to become. You don't build wealth by adding more effort. You build it by removing everything that weakens your vibration. You clear space. You break contracts with mediocrity. You stop justifying smallness and start honoring your potential. And that creates a ripple effect. One decision, one boundary, one higher standard, and suddenly your reality begins to shift. Not by luck, not by force, but because you finally stopped cooperating with what was keeping you poor. You can't out-earn your self-image. Let that sink in. You can hustle, strategize, sacrifice, sleep, but if deep down you see yourself as someone who struggles, someone who barely gets by, someone who's not one of those people, you will always find a way to return to that level. Because the subconscious mind has one job: to keep your outer world consistent with your inner identity. That's why people win the lottery and lose it. Why businesses boom and crash. Why some people climb out of poverty and others stay stuck for generations. It's never about how much comes in, it's about who's receiving it. If the person receiving the money is still operating from fear, guilt, unworthiness, or limitation, that money will vanish, sometimes fast, sometimes slow, but always in alignment with the self-image. This is the silent trap of self-development. People chase more when what they need is to become different. They want more money, more time, more freedom, but they're still behaving like someone with less. You say you want wealth? Start thinking, moving, and deciding like a wealthy person before the money shows up. That means investing in your growth, not waiting until you can afford it. It means respecting your time like it's your most valuable asset, because it is. It means speaking with clarity, showing up with presence, and saying no to anything that contradicts who you're becoming. Because here's the truth: money responds to identity. And not the identity you perform in public, but the one you hold privately. When your self-image says, I'm a magnet for prosperity. I deserve to be well compensated for my gifts. I am capable, valuable, and positioned for increase. Your actions align. Your decisions shift. Your standards rise. And wealth starts to flow not as a surprise, but as a reflection. But most people never make that leap because they stay loyal to the old version of themselves. The version that fits in. The version that avoids discomfort. The version that plays small to avoid judgment. Wealth isn't something you pursue, it's something you harmonize with. It's not a finish line, it's a frequency. And you don't reach it by running faster, you reach it by tuning yourself to it. When your thoughts speak abundance, when your feelings carry certainty, when your actions reflect boldness and clarity, money comes. Not by accident, but by law. You've been taught that money is hard, that it's earned only through blood, sweat, and sacrifice. But here's what they didn't tell you. Money is energy. It's obedient. It's responsive. It listens to who you are, not just what you do. And most people, they're misaligned. They affirm wealth while feeling fear. They visualize freedom while living in chaos. They journal abundance, then spend the day tolerating small, scarcity-driven decisions. That's not alignment, that's contradiction. And contradiction creates resistance. You want to become magnetic to wealth? Then you must become consistent in thought, feeling, and action. No more double signals, no more affirmations on top of doubt, No more asking for more while behaving like someone with less. That doesn't mean pretending to be rich. It means embodying clarity, peace, confidence, and stewardship, the traits of someone who can handle money, not just receive it. When you walk into a room with self-assurance, when you make decisions from a place of calm power, not desperation, when you release fear, guilt, and unworthiness from your system, wealth notices. It responds. It finds its way to you through people, ideas, and opportunities, but only when you're ready. So the real work isn't in the external hustle. It's in the internal alignment, in clearing the blocks, breaking the patterns, rewriting the programming, in becoming a person who doesn't need money to feel secure, but who naturally attracts it because they are already secure. And once you truly grasp this, everything changes. Because the moment you stop chasing money is the moment money starts chasing you.